Hello, Twitch chat. Hello, YouTube watchers, and it. Oh, my emote's been changed to a rat jam. Nice. Whoops. What? My cat's here. You want on my lap? Oh, here she comes. Well, hello, chat. Happy Saturday morning. We're rocking out with a Hollow ID music relay I'm making up as we go. This song, hot off the presses. I don't know if there's a music version of that saying. Whoops. My cat rubbed against my mic. Wait, did that song have a wait at the end? Wait. Well, let's see. Hello, chat. There is been a change to our format, which is that uh there is no music for the YouTubers, YouTube watchers. There's also no music for us right now, but I'm about to fix that. But hello, everyone. My cat is on my lap. I am petting her. Her fur is feeling very good because I brushed her the other day. She's got a bit of dandruff. Yeah, you got some dandruff? We need to keep brushing you. And maybe not brush as hard. Well, this is our third ever Mashed Potato Monthly stream, which the name is growing on me a little bit. I just feel this, that it does not accurately capture everything that we are doing, but it is pretty much on pretty specific. But anyways, seems that I alone today claim victory within our battlefield. I killed stream elements. None have arisen to challenge me. My cat is done with my lap. Very well. That means it's time to proceed. Get out of here, intro fighters. Bloop. Okay. So, let me... Oh, there you go. So, what is this? What are we doing? This is our third one, like I said, but what is the what is Mashed Potato Monthly? Well, it's just a monthly chatting stream that I'm trying out for at least, I don't know, probably a year, unless something changes. I don't know. I am, as I wrote there, surprised that we're doing a third one. I've done it though. And in fact, this one's early, even though the last one was late. But man, it really adds a lot of context to the amount of effort um, other streamers go to even do something as simple as a chatting stream. Swees, Haggy, Haggy. We need a like there needs to be like a global YouTube emote like Pepe that everyone uses and loves, you know? That's not the red angry face. It just won't happen though. But hello. We're just getting started. As I'm giving the spiel on what this is. Also, I got my cord. My God, I got so many cords. Okay, and I had to sneeze. This is a chill monthly chatting stream where we talk about real life stuff and stuff that's happened on the stream. And there's not that many planned official like planned segments that are included each time, but we usually talk about music and games and our stream and VTubers, aka Hololive, but that's changing the more that time goes on. The less the more that the pie graph is becoming split between from what it used to be of 100% Hololive to now, you know, 95% Hololive and 5% indie. But I welcome anyone to share whatever they had happen, exciting or otherwise, in the chat this month. Not that you're discouraged to do that any other time, but there's a time and place for every discussion, you know. Now there's your formal invitation. We have a few things on the agenda today. It's a little lighter than normal. Mainly because I was doing all of this like, you know, this morning. Das Wondercat, welcome back. Hello. Also, I hate you back with the VAW. I saw that you play Hitman, but I have not gotten the chance to catch a live stream yet. But welcome back. Chat Das Wondercat was going for the hardcore freelancer win on stream. All right, so very exciting stuff. We too have taken on that challenge on stream. I've done it twice. I've done it once off stream and then once on stream. And man, oh man, that final mission, that final kill was sloppy, but not too sloppy. I shot the target. I was rushing to go watch Kiara, something that Kiara from Hololive English was doing. And I was like, I'm pretty sure this is the target. And we were on the last level with, you know, the wine vineyard and the giant overlook. Went up to the cliffs, shot who I thought was the target. They were like, that's not him. And then they were like, everybody's escaping. And I was like, oh my God, no. And I said, well, there was that one other guy that looked familiar, and he was right underneath them. Killed him. It was them. Phew, saved. Very close. But then I realized our side objective was to kill an assassin. And I was like, ah, shit. Because now they're all running away. But I managed to snipe one. And then we left. Yeah, no problem. No worry. No big deal about the follow. Thank you. And you've beaten it once off stream, but 0 times on stream. Yeah. Right up in the, you know, like where one of the spawns is by the security guards and the gate and stuff, where you talk with Diana. Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. So there's and there's some Hitman, there's a big Hitman up, well, not a big Hitman update, but there's another Hitman update that's just recently come out. We can talk about that though in a little bit when we get to the gaming news slide. But first, I'm gonna shift gears and talk about some stuff that's been happening in IRL. So my IRL job, which I don't talk about often, purposefully from both a personal privacy standpoint, and from I just think people aren't watching me to hear about my real life job, like in the real life stuff, you know? Uh, so I don't want to hear about it from the streamers that I watch. But then at the same time, when they go through hardships and whatnot, I would feel bad if they were like, well, I just kept it, I just didn't say anything because I knew you guys wouldn't care. It's like, well, I care. I just, I also don't want to just hear you complain about your real life the whole time, I guess. That's my own thing there. But yeah, we've had at my job, I basically I just told myself I'm not gonna whine about my job here and there. I was gonna save it for this moment here. So, Sweets, thank you. I appreciate it. It's it's like a weird thing where I know as a fan how I feel, but then I know as a streamer, and then I think like how. Anyways, I can see two sides of it, and I flip flop back and forth. But there've been like two or three or even four like waves of layoffs at my job within the last like year. It's not looking good, guys. It's not looking great. And in this latest batch, it was like people within my team specifically, like people that I used to like sit right beside of, and in the industry that I work in the in advertising. I work at an ad agency. It's not unusual for there to be cycles of this kinds of thing as clients come and go. And ideally you have a balanced enough clientele that you don't have all your eggs in one basket. You're not relying on one client to pay for a chunk of people's salaries, but we've just had not been having a lot of wins, been losing, at I don't know, I would say the normal rate, the normal atrophy rate, entropy rate, whatever. I'm also not that high up in this company as a FYI, so just to put some perspective on what my perspective is, um, I don't know a lot of what's going on, But yeah, it's been a little stressful lately, and I've sadly not been able to work on other parts related to the stream because I have just not been able to focus. And when what ends up happening is I kind of just putz around on the computer and don't do anything. So like I'm trying, but it's just not happening. But all that being said, there it is. There's the release. Okay. Deep breath. Let's hope that things can get better. Legitimately, that's not just a whimsical saying, but we've gotten a new head CEO, like at the very tip top of the chain. And they said that they're already like connecting their old clients and other people to like people that we might be able to get work from, basically. So that's a good sign, and I kind of believe them because you know what happens if they don't get work for us? They will also lose their job. So we can believe that they're going to be fighting for us. Maybe it's not because they truly care about us, but because they have to. So, no, and you know what, right, like I said here, no matter what happens, I have to stay true to, what I feel are my own principles here and just work hard. And, me personally, I'm very inspired whenever there's nice people that are also working hard around me. I don't know. I feel like that would be the same for everyone, but I also just think that that's not true. Some people are happy to just kick their feet up and watch some sucker do all their work for them, but I don't mind to do the like jobs that I'm overqualified to do, for example, just because like I don't know, I'll just do it, right? Because everybody else is busy, so I'll do that too, even though I have stuff to do. I don't know. It's just kind of like a group mentality thing. try to be part of the team. All right. Back to more important stuff. Gaming news. There's been a lot of updates, including, thanks to Nasmar Cat's reminder, a Hitman update. So there's been a Minecraft update, a few of them, because Minecraft switched to smaller updates throughout the year instead of one yearly update, which is huge. That's such a good idea because I think everyone could agree that people play Minecraft in big cycles, right? They like convince all their friends, let's play another, let's start over again, make a new server, blah blah blah, right? And then they play for like 2 weeks, and then they don't play again for however long. Now these little updates, it might contain something that tempts you to hop in, or you just hop in because it's been like 5 little updates and you don't even remember all the stuff that they've updated. So why don't we pop in and see? I think it's great. And it's probably better for their team, but what do I know? I would say they probably didn't make the choice that's going to be more strenuous on their team. Because, I don't know, it feels like Minecraft's already doing fine. But who knows? There's the Nintendo Direct. I didn't watch it, guys. I've been busy. But then I think, like, what have I been busy with? Like, I don't know. I don't fucking know, man. The time's slipping away. Did you guys watch the Nintendo Direct, anyone? Was there any highlights? I know there was a new Rhythm Heaven announced, but it's not until like next year. It was like, oh, okay, well, I'll get excited about that later. You didn't watch it? Oh, that's all good. Yeah, I there was a bit about Pokemon in there, I know. Pokemon, what's it called? ZA. They're just toying with the names now. I'm sure there's like some parents out there that was the final straw. They were like, "What do you mean it's called ZA? You already had X and Y and now you have ZA." It's like it just doesn't, it sounds crazy. They used to be colors. I feel like I remember when my parents were like weirded out that it went from colors to I guess it's basically always been colors, but when you think Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, you don't really think the color. You think of the gem. You don't have a Switch, so you don't really care. That's true. That's fair. I have a Switch. It's right behind me, but it's dead. And I have a capture card that's like the most finicky thing in the world. Like if you blow on it, it'll freeze. It's surely broken now, but it's still over there. There was the Monster Hunter title update. What do I mean? It's dead. It's just not charged. But it's like been not charged for like a long time, so it's like ultra dead right now. There's zero charge in it. The Monster Hunter title update 1 is gonna be out like next week, I think, or like pretty soon. And they announced title update 2. I think it's cool that they're calling them wait, that is what it's called? They're calling them, right? But Monster Hunter, I said it maybe during the beta or maybe early on. I was like, they're in a good position to do the typical like modern gaming trend of ongoing releases, small ongoing releases, Just look at Minecraft, look at Monster Hunter. You would not really think of the two as similar at all, and yet they're vaguely following the same sort of update pattern of smaller, more frequent updates versus one large ones every year. Which is interesting. It's just what gaming demands, and I don't know how to feel about it. Comes out on April 4th. Oh god. The other night I finally did it, guys. After trying Sword and Shield in the training room, after trying the hammer in the training room, I tried the great sword, and I think it clicked with me. I think I get it, which is basically when I thought to myself, wait, the great sword is kind of like being a warrior in Dragon's Dogma, where you have your big ass charge up attack, and you just put everything into that charge up attack. It's like, yes, hell yeah. So last night I crafted a like top, end game great sword, not an Artian one, not like the one you have to roll the stuff on, but yeah. Gonna try great sword. I might be a hunting horn main and great sword secondary when I'm solo. Because it's basically it's too hard to well anyways. Well, yeah, it's too hard to do what I've been doing solo on the horn. It's difficult. Des Wondercat, you love DD2. You don't know why so many people disliked it. You just wish it was a longer game. This get some move them up in the imaginary chatting list that I just made up right now. Move them up. We have a Dragon's Dogma 2 fan amongst us. This is fantastic news. I also love Dragon's Dogma. We before DD2 came out, we played Dragon's Dogma 1, like sprinted through it. And what started out as a meme run as a character named Billy Poopface turned into one of the greatest RPG endings like it was awesome. We dove into the ending of Dragon's Dogma 2. We did DD2 on stream, dove into the endings of all that. Realized it didn't make a lot of sense. And then I found a long ass thread on Reddit where this guy hired people to translate the Japanese version, and basically there were some mistranslations that kind of re-changes your views on everything, I felt. And we did a long epilogue chat about that, just like we did for Avowed the other day. So that was awesome. And it's on YouTube if you are interested. Let's see. The Hitman update. The pawn system was great, a very fun game. Oh my god, I just remembered one of the riddles. I'm still haunted by the Sphinx's riddles. Seriously, oh god, that was so difficult. That might be one of the most difficult boss fights of my whole life, and I even had help. Good thing I wasn't playing by myself, or I would have totally taken that jar manually. And the Hitman update's like their typical Hitman update of new, but not new. They're returning whatever elusive targets. But there was one new thing. I was like, okay, cool, we'll play that. And I was excited to do it today as a bonus stream, but then I saw it doesn't come out until like next month or the month after. Boo! You think the DD2 video was more in depth? Yeah, there was more to dissect with DD2, mainly because of the translation errors, and yeah, I was gonna say, and the fact that it was really connected with DD1, I feel like more than Avowed was with Pillars. But it is fun to think about. It's like, look, those were both beefy RPGs with lots of stuff that happened in the game before it, right? It's so good though. It's still at the end of the day, it's like I feel glad that that's how I decided to spend my time, especially with everyone in chat as well. But you know what? I just was reading that my note here. There is a time when I'm thinking back, I'm like, I wish I could get this time back. The time that I spent playing Rhythm Heaven as a child, not understanding how to play at all, and just getting really frustrated about how to play. I did not understand that you needed to listen to the game, and it was a rhythm-based game. How did I not understand that? I don't know. I don't know. But Rhythm Heaven did not go well for me as a child. And I want to go for another round, and we will do that next year. I also, now that you mentioned that the DD2 one's more in depth, I was thinking, I should have read what happens when you free sap it all. Why didn't I do that? I just kind of glossed over that. Yeah, yes. yeah, me as a small potato being like, I remember it was the one with the three little guys where they go ah, and then they have to go ah. Man, that shit. Oh my god, I was so bad. All right, let's get on. Let's move past this. So we talked about it a little bit already, but yeah, we finished Avowed, and it's good. It's time to start thinking about the next RPG because I usually like to have one ongoing RPG, like long, slow burn RPG series going on. But we finished Avowed, and we did our now soon to be recurring theme of discussing the endings. And, you know, it was a lot of fun for me. I wonder how interesting it was for everyone else. YouTube wise, they don't do any better or worse than our other videos. That's a quick little behind the scenes. Our other videos also not doing very well, like at all. So it doesn't really matter because YouTube is not made to, my YouTube channel is not made to get YouTube views. It's just to archive my streams. It's just a bonus if they get YouTube views. I need suggestions for the next RPG though. We talked about Cyberpunk as being a popular choice. And I've actually researched it a lot in the past, but like what kind of game is it really? Like really? And what I mean by that is like it seems like in the game there are a lot of choices that have real consequences. Consequences where people are doing different things or are alive or dead, not just like different quest reward endings or something like that. I know that there's a pretty in-depth skill tree, but I'm not sure what kind of build that I would play. I think I would want to do the melee build, right? With the gorilla fists or gorilla arms. I mean, is that boring though? Would that be boring? I don't know. Run around and just punch everybody with my super strength. I think that sounds cool, is playing as a Corpa guy. He's like, I don't use guns. I don't have goons. I don't need anything flashy. I'll just walk up and give you a firm handshake and I might kill you. Did the choices in Avowed matter much, or was it like Outer Worlds where the choices didn't matter much? Well, I didn't play the Outer Worlds, which that, you know, you bringing up the Outer Worlds, I'm glad that you did, because I saw some people in my readings being like, wow, I can't believe Avowed is just ending slide, like ending screen JPEGs, just like Outer Worlds. And I wanted to say, what? I think they need to put some respect on the time-honored tradition of JPEGs ending slides, man. Ending slides like that are great because they're usually more focused on like the story and the consequences, and you get like a little bit of flavor to it as well. Instead of the company spending like tons and tons of time on like a good and evil cutscene, you know. But did the choices in Avowed matter much? I think they did matter because, well, that's a complicated question. I'll spiel about it for a second. I think that they did matter because if you don't select all of certain ones, all pro Steel Garrote ones, aka all the bad options, you can't get the super bad ending. Which I don't really agree with that. I think that there should still be a way to get the super bad ending without you doing that. But if by doing that, that means it makes the choices matter less. So it is still like a balancing act. I think more from in Avowed, like instead of seeing more impact from the main story choices, which are usually just one at the end of every major area, I would have really liked to have seen, you know, I can even forgive that there's not that many side quest ending slides. That's fine too. Maybe they don't want to put the time and effort into creating, you know, effort into the insides for stuff that people might not do, like at all. They might not do it at all. But in the game forces you to have companions, and two of the companion quests happen in the final area of the game versus two of them happening like outside and having their own areas and additional stories with them as well. I feel like, you know, the choices around your companions was just way too limp. you basically just could tell them what to do, and they would go and do that. You could spend the whole game saying yay or nay to whatever they say, and then at the very end you just tell them what to do, and then they will go do exactly what you said, and which I just don't agree with, because I know it can be better than that, because in Pillars 1 and 2 they had a very complex system of the companion quests would happen within each area, so they would progress. You wouldn't finish them until you got to the end of the game, and within kind of each area or each step, you were giving them dialogue choices that would affect their score. So you could essentially think of it as like getting a positive, neutral, or negative ending. And depending on all of your responses throughout your whole adventure, it adds up to one of the endings, which just feels a lot more organic, like they've grown and changed over the time spent with them, versus them just listening to what you have to say one time at the end of the adventure. But that kind of conflicts with the whole, well, Pillars is like a more hardcore RPG and Avowed's not. I can agree with that too, but Gianta and Yahtzee got the worse end of the companion story stick than Kai and Marius for sure. I feel like that's objective. Maybe they'll go back and fix it though. I look at Baldur's Gate, who like went back and changed the endings and like updated stuff like that. I'm like, that's some pretty like significant changes. And if people let Baldur's Gate do it, they can't get mad if Avowed does it. So I hope that they do that. Or at least fix the weird frown that happens at the end of the game. That was a really long way to answer your question of, do I think the choices matter? Yes, in the main story. Wish there were more side quests, but I'm okay that there's not. No for the companions. Well, they do matter, but they don't feel good. Phew. Sometimes I go into a trance-like state, guys, where I just start talking about games. I don't know. If you ask me to repeat what I just said, cannot. Ending slides are the definitive way to end a game, in your opinion. Yeah, they're just like a classic. You know, if they didn't have ending slides, you know, how what else would it be? Yeah, like Suisse is saying, just animate every possible ending. It's like, grr. You know what you get then? You get those weird PNGs where they just kind of they're just clearly like stretched and like bending and stuff, you know, instead of being really animated, which those can look good too, but you know, it has to be subtle movements, you know, it has to be tastefully done. But yeah, any big RPG suggestions, you guys? I was also thinking Fable. I bought Fable. I just can't help it. I love Fable. But I'm like, it's not, is it really even that good? Or it's like kind of clunky now, right? But it's also like a classic. If you guys have not played Fable, it was like to me personally, it was the first game where you could be good or evil. That's not true for like from a technical standpoint. But I don't remember playing a game myself where that was like a big deal. And I thought it was very cool. And oh my god, I thought it was so funny watching my babysitter's kids, like these older kids, fart on people in the village. You can just walk up to people in Fable and just fart on them, and oh my god. Young Potato could not breathe, okay? Could not breathe. Just like, and I don't know why too, but there was one time where, and I didn't even know that this was the game, okay? I just called it the box game because they showed me in Metal Gear Solid where you can hide in the box, and oh, dude, I just remember laughing so hard. They never did it again, right? Because they didn't want me to laugh that hard again. But then later when I was like, oh my god, that's Metal Gear, that's not just some stupid game, that was Metal Gear Solid. It was like, holy shit. Anyways, let's move on. Coming up later today, I don't know if you guys can read that or not. It's probably hard to read, and you don't have to read it all here, but we have our Pokemon Nuzlocke run coming up, and those are our rules. And I'm going to post them on Twitter for people to get a closer look at. And honestly, I expect the casual people not to care about all these rules. But people that are familiar with what a Nuzlocke is will want to know, I think. So, and I kind of wanted to write them out because I'm a nerd like that. But a Nuzlocke, to put it simply, is just a challenge run in Pokemon. Oh, what's that? Is this with her seeing Mew? Yeah, see, I see that, but like, did that happen? I'd like more. I need more context. Is that just her encountering Mew? How did she do that? Did she get the correct cartridge? Someone send her one? Actually, wait, I saw on Twitter. Oh my gosh, I'm talking so fast. Let me chill out. Let me take a breath. Let me get a drink. I saw on Twitter that someone said, I have a cartridge with, I think they were saying that I have a cartridge with, you know, those rare event items that you need to get the legendary Pokemon. And then she responded and said, I checked with the staff and they said that I'm not allowed to get them. So then I wonder, how did she do that? Maybe she just bought one herself and it wasn't from a fan. But man, that's the real secret sauce to Pokemon now. Shiny hunting has lost its luster somewhat. Okay, and I said it before, I'm not against little Billy being excited to catch his first shiny Pokemon, okay? That's a great thing. But eventually, they're not going to feel as special anymore. They already feel a little less special. They're just easier to get. Now, do I think 1 out of 8,192 are fair odds? No. But also, shiny Pokemon have no inherent advantage except being a different color. So it doesn't matter, you know? But the real thing, the real secret sauce to Pokemon, like I was saying, are legitimate legendaries now. You know what I'm saying? Like, if someone's like, I have a Mew from Emerald from that event back in this time that I traded from Pokebank to Pokemon Home, blah blah blah, you know, it's like, yeah, that is more rare than a shiny Pokemon now for sure. Holy shit, you know? And it's cool that you can like verify if they're real or not through various bits of info, you know. I think lots of times you end up checking what ribbons they have. Also, yeah, I put down a bet, guys. Sakura Miko from Hololive JP Gen 0 is playing Pokemon Ruby question mark? And yes, I don't know. She's playing a Pokemon game where she's trying to catch a shiny Magikarp, but she's just doing it like, I forget what the term is. She's just doing it with no method. Just casting the rod, killing the Magikarp. There's no chaining or anything happening. I put the bet down that she'd get it by 1,700 and something. I think that's probably going to happen like soon. If not this stream or the next stream or pretty soon. And it's probably not looking good for me. Anyways, okay, back up. Skirt. Our challenge run, which is happening later today, is going to be in Pokemon Heart Gold. Why did you pick Pokemon Heart Gold, Mashed Potato? That's because, one, I love Johto, and two, it has 2 regions in the game. If you're unfamiliar, it has Johto and Kanto, which means we get more Pokemon Nuzlocke action. If I can beat this, truly, I am a Johto master. So, there are no real official rules for a Nuzlocke, but having said that, there are kind of 3 main defining characteristics of a Nuzlocke, which again is, you can just think as a challenge run again. One is that if your Pokemon faints, It has to be boxed or released. It's considered dead, but we're not going to call them dead because that makes me sad. We're going to say that they're retired and that they're going to the Pokemon farm or that they graduated, whichever you'd prefer. Another big rule. So that's big rule number 1. Pokemon faint, release. First encounters. So whenever you get to a new area, you can only catch the first wild Pokemon that you find in that area, and you can't catch any more. And you can check the validity of the Pokemon by going to the met at screen or caught at. So if it says caught at route 4, then caught at route 5, you know, those two are good. If you see 2 caught at route 4, right? No. And the last one is to nickname all your caught Pokemon, because I believe the original Nuzlocke run, like this idea, came from a guy who had a Nuzleaf whose name was Nuzlocke. But that might not be true. I feel like I've seen pictures of that, though. So, I've never nicknamed any of my Pokemon in my life. So, it's going to be really hard for me to think of nicknames. But we'll do our best. And then I have some optional rules. So there's going to be no over leveling, and we will talk more about that on how that works once we do our stream later today. But we have a level tracker, basically. We have a level cap on our party based on the highest level of the next upcoming major battle, which would be a gym leader or a rival, or in some cases, like the Sprout Tower Master, who's neither of those two, but is still a major trainer that you have to fight in the story. I should have put on here that I'm not going to be looking at the enemy team's Pokemon, like their moves or anything. I'm not going to be studying the enemy team outside of what I would imagine a normal trainer could hear in the anime. I'm kind of going for like a realistic, semi-realistic approach, you know? So like, if you're going to go to Pewter City and battle Brock, you know he has a Geodude and an Onix, okay? But you don't really know every trick and every move that he's going to pull out, okay? So, we will know what Pokemon they have, but I'm not going to look at what levels, or not going to look at all the specifics of them, because you can look at that in this tool that we're going to use for our run. There's going to be a team size limit. So when we go to a gym, if they only have 3 Pokemon, we will also only have 3 Pokemon. I think that just sounds cooler. And that's how it works in the anime, right? So it's usually like, they'll use 2 Pokemon each, and the challenger is allowed to substitute at any time. Or sometimes no substitutes. More info about the first encounters. If we encounter a duplicate Pokemon, then I'm going to allow it to be re-rolled. So if we, let's see, if we have caught a Pidgey, and we go to the next route, and we see another Pidgey, I'm going to allow that one to be skipped over. Now that brings up the question, what happens if we go to a route, catch a Pidgey, it dies, and then we go to another route, and then see another Pidgey? I'm not sure what's going to happen then. I think it'll just be my call on that one. If we see a shiny Pokemon, we get to catch it, regardless if we've caught a first encounter in that area or not. Those two are pretty common, like, optional rules. This next one I kind of made up on my own. If needed, an extra Pokemon can be caught to be used for HMs, but will not be eligible for battle. So I can't use it to continue the run or anything like that. It's just for HMs. Because, like, what if I need to surf and I don't have any water Pokemon? But we need to surf to continue the story, okay? So I have to just catch a quick water Pokemon and then teach it surf and we'll go. For fleeing Pokemon, if there is a Pokemon that uses Roar or Teleport or some other way to escape, instead of that being a lost, failed encounter, I'm gonna give myself a handicap and say that I get to lock in that Pokemon, and I get to re-roll it until we get the same one, right? So, I don't lose the encounter, but I don't get to change what Pokemon we found. So hopefully that doesn't turn into us, oh no, we found an Abra, now we have to stay in this area until we catch another Abra, because that could be a nightmare. But we'll see. That might be a consequence of the rule I just made up. Gift Pokemon, so gift Pokemon from NPCs, whether that's from an egg or whatever. I don't know all of the details of what's possible in Heart Gold, but those are just freebies and they don't count as first encounters. So all of those rules have been pretty nice. I guess no overleveling and the team size limit. Those are gonna make it harder. But then some other stuff made it easier. This is back to making it harder. I'm allowing myself to use battle items. Only one healing item when battling a gym leader or a rival. Basically anyone that also uses healing items. And if they use more than one, I get to use another one. And I get to use as many as they do. Because to me, it's not even fair that they get to use them at all. But if they're gonna use them, then I get to use them too. And there will be no healing items allowed during regular trainer battles, because that just doesn't happen in trainer battles. So that's a little bit of a scary rule. We're probably gonna, have moments where we could have just saved someone if we hit them with a quick potion, but that's not how Pokemon battles work, damn it. And for our last rule, if we get a whiteout or a loss, so if we're in a gym and we lose, the 2 Pokemon we brought, sometimes people would say that's a game over. I'm going to say that I'm allowed to continue the run until I don't have any eligible Pokemon left. Because otherwise that kind of makes the team size limit rule even harder. And this is not meant to be a hardcore challenge run. This is meant to be my first time having a Nuzlocke run. Let's have fun and just tune it to however we want, So that being said, I have some win conditions, and I put a lot of thought into this. I looked at all the level caps for all these things, and to me, it kind of split up like this. So if we can defeat all the Johto gym leaders and the Johto Elite Four, that's a win. We get Pokeball rank. If we can then defeat all the Kanto gym leaders and rematch all of the Johto and then the Kanto gym leaders again, so that's 8, 16, 24 gym leaders, we'll get Great Ball rank. Then looking at the level jumps, there's like a bigger level jump between those guys and rematching the Elite Four. So rematch the Elite Four, and then catch or defeat all legendaries. I should say all non-event legendaries, but all the legendaries that you can get. And then Master Ball rank is to defeat Red, which you might think should happen after catching, before catching and defeating all the legendaries, but based on the Pokemon levels, his Pokemon are higher level than like most of the legendaries in the game. So we're talking like level 80s. So scary stuff. And that's it. Honestly, there's probably going to be a lot of stuff that pops up that I'm like, oh shit, I didn't think about what happens now. And we're going to have to make up rules on the fly. But this should get us covered, at least for the start. Oh, I forgot to mark off the items as we're going. No! Alright, well, next, I'm going to get a drink of water before we look at some Hololive stuff. And it's going to be pretty cool, I think. So, boop. Oops. What did I just do? Oh, God. Boop. Okay, so, Hololive's, what's called their 6th Fest happened this month. That's like their big yearly multi-day concert that also features a live in-person expo that people can visit in Japan. And it was really, really great. Before that happened, we took the Hololive Common Knowledge test, which was created by a fan who's been doing it for like 3 years now, and also creating other types of tests. And We scored a... Actually, wait. The test is about JP Hololive VTubers mainly, and it was written in Japanese. So I did my best to translate it for us and took the test on stream. And we got a 50 out of 100, which I feel, I mean, pretty good, pretty decent about. It's like right in the middle. I don't know if that's even a pass or a fail, but you know, 50 out of 100 for a language I don't even speak and can't read. Hooray! The gang. No! The gang! Is this the Oopie Goopy? No! Wonder what that original audio is from. Well, we can still keep talking about the gang here, because we also did the Hololive character sorter. I'll put that on screen now. Here are my results. And we didn't actually talk about my results. So the character sorter is all of the Hololive and Holostars. Well, you can customize it, but they put them side by side, two at a time, and you just pick which one you like more, and then or you can say tie. So there's mine. And yeah, I realized we didn't actually like really look at it when we did this, because I was in a hurry to wrap things up, because something was happening. I don't remember now. It might have been the 6th Fes, but anyways, at the top of the list, Subaru, Kyla, and Shiori are tied for first, which is great news. Aqua is actually second. It just says she's fourth because of the ties, which means Bimu, Nene, Fauna, and Pekora are actually third, because tied for third. And then Gigi, Sora, Miyosha, Kiara, Iroha, Fubuki, Kanade are all fourth? This is getting hard to keep up with. But basically, the top of the list is pretty wide. So many ties, yeah. It's the truth though. Like when I look at the list, I'm like, this feels pretty accurate. But there was someone I was thinking, whoa, why aren't they higher up? Who was it? Also, Achan's not on this list, I'm pretty sure. And Notica isn't either, which is sad. They didn't include staff. Who was it that I was like, I thought was gonna be way higher? I also didn't expect Kiara to be tied with number 9 with Iroha and Fubuki and Kanade. Vivi needs to move up. Anyways, it was a lot of fun. There's my little list for this year. And you know what? I just realized that the top two, Subaru and Kyla, they both have had visual updates now. They need to add them to the list. Kyla's happened just too recently, though, for it to have been on the list. And like I said, there was, let's hide this now. Like I said, there was a the concert, right? Why is it not playing? So I have some screenshots here that I took from the concert that aren't playing. Here we go. Oh, shit. Okay, there we go. I was wondering, I was like, wait, why did that Shiori picture go from green to not green? It's because the lighting on that stage was pretty green, and I edited it to just remove some of the green. But all of these pictures are of... Wow, I feel like I'm caught right now. I didn't really mean for that to happen, but they are. Oh, there's one Fawawa. But they're all Shiori, Kyla, and Subaru. Those are the only ones that I've already gone through and picked ones that I thought were really good. So I thought I would share them. See how green it is? That it is. There it is without the green. Okay, wait, look again. There, green, no green. It looks so much better without the green. But yeah. Some of this stuff was actually, I'm pretty sure all of this was in the paid portion of the event. But don't worry, you are allowed to share screenshots. You've not been caught, chat. No one's gonna get in trouble for looking at the screenshots. Lots of cute moments, lots of fun, very good. I liked the stage setup a lot more this year, even though I was at home. And you might think, what does it matter to me, who's like not physically there? Also, look, there's the pebbles and the knobweeds and the jailbirds and the ruffians. The slideshow is going a little fast, but there's also like 45 pictures in this slideshow, so it was pretty good. It's hard for me to think like, how does it compare to last year's? Like, I don't have the brain capacity to think about it like that, but I can think like, how did so and so's performance compare to last year? You know, stuff like that. I can think of it like that. So I don't know. I feel, I still feel pretty satisfied. It's just so rough. The times are so rough. It starts at like 11 p.m. and then the next one starts at like 4:30 a.m. or something. And they go on for like 2.5 hours or an hour and a half, 2.5 hours sometimes. I don't even know. It felt like I didn't get any good sleep at all during that time period, but it was worth it. It does make me wonder though. One thing that I think is interesting is like the quality the of the performers, like the visual quality looks very high fidelity, I think, but during solo lives, it's like they have some secret technology that they only use during solo lives that make them look even more like, I don't know, magical and well lit and just visually stunning. It's hard to describe. I guess I probably have pictures of solo lives somewhere. But I did figure out how we're gonna look at the other pictures one day. I don't know when. Maybe it'll be like when I just want to stream really bad, but I don't have anything to stream in particular. We'll listen to the Hololive New Year's countdown like concert, which is like a full ass free concert basically, while we skim through some pictures. And we'll just see how far we make it in that time period. I think my favorite performance though had to have been. Let me see if I can find the picture. Oh yeah, there's one. No, shit. No, with Miko, Subaru, and Sora, they sang a 3-hit medley with hot Subaru's Hot Duck, Miko Cheese. I don't know her name of her song, but I know the words to it. And Sora's Star Star Start. It was great. That was so awesome. By the way, I don't think, I don't know. Well, I guess, if the people that involved felt okay sharing it on Twitter, then it's not going to be a big deal if I share what I saw on Twitter, which was that there were at least one or maybe two people, one instance or multiple instances of people passing out at the concert from like overexcitement. And I read like a first-hand story of a guy who was like, yeah, I was there, and this guy beside of me, you know, there was like commotion beside of me. There was a guy collapsed on the ground, and he's like, I'm a paramedic of some kind, you know, and went and investigated. I could tell that it was this, and you know, and then this happened, this happened. He said, I went, you know, I went with them, and blah blah blah. And he was asking at the time, he was asking, can somebody just let me know if anybody knows if that guy was all right? It would just make me feel better knowing, you know, if what I did helped. And he was there, they were fine. And they were like, he was like, you know, that's great news, blah blah blah. It came out that, you know, he had lost some of his merchandise during all of the chaos. One of them being like the light stick that they got from this event, I think, or maybe a previous one. And Cover mailed him one, and I don't know if they sent him some other stuff. They might have just mailed him a replacement light stick, which I thought was very nice, you know. So, good stuff. Luckily, it all worked out. I remember Shiori was kind of talking about it a little bit, but she didn't talk about it in detail like I just did. She just kind of hinted that there was like maybe some people that got too excited. And I like, I don't know. I wanted to be like, well, why? Maybe she didn't know the whole story. Because I was going to say that sounds even more suspicious, actually, that you said it like that versus, you know, just saying that this bad thing happened, but it worked out. All right. All right. Thank you for indulging me in our Hololive portion. I figured it out. I know the best way to do it now, which is put all the Hololive stuff on one slide. That way it still gets talked about, but it's not as prevalent. Because yeah. I'm just trying to still find that balance. All right. Next. Bloop. Music and lyrics. We have to skip it this month, guys. I'm sorry. We have to skip it this month. Boo! Boo! I know. Boo! I can hear you. Boo! But we have to skip it this month because I haven't had enough time to do it. And honestly, I'm not really sure that the format's working out that well. I love the idea of diving deeper into the songs that we listen to, whether they're Hololive related or not. They don't have to be, but that's just what I listen to, and no one suggested anything else. So that's what we're gonna keep going with until other things are suggested. I really like breaking down the lyrics and thinking about them more, whether they're English or JP or otherwise. JP, Japanese. Can we listen to Octavio's 3D songs? You know, I tuned in to some of that. Yeah, we can. Let's see. If you send me one to check out, we can add it to the list. What did I listen to? I tuned in before Armis was there, and they did the puppet thing. I heard whatever song was before that. I didn't get to see much. My brain kind of starts. I kind of just start floating through the evenings and nights, and I don't end up paying attention to much. That was the first one? I don't know. It was like halfway through, I thought. But yeah, I'm down to check it out, of course. Not now, but you know, I'll do that on my own time and get the lyrics on screen for us, and we'll listen to it and kind of karaoke style read it, and then talk about it. The 801, maybe, possibly. Very bad with the names as well. But yeah. I did want to shout out one song that we listened to at the beginning of the stream, Vestia Zeta's Break It Down. She said okay, don't tell any of the other ones. But Zeta's so cute, right? She has like little sister vibes, it feels like. You know, where like you wanna help her and like cheer her on, you know? but she's also she's funny. I don't know. It's like in like a cool little sister way, maybe like Bibu. But that also might be because I'm an old man. It's a good song though. You guys should check it out. She sang it at 6th Fest. So it's a nice little bop. We'll probably listen to it again later. Next. March's streams and oh my god, guys, I can't believe March is over. I feel old saying that, but like I had in here February streams, and I was like, what's next for March? And then I was like, when I was reading it, I was like, wait, this doesn't sound right. I was like, oh god, it's already March. And then I was like, oh god, it's over. Also, it's over. So I realized that it's actually March and realizing that it's over in the same like 5-minute span. But during our time in March, we played Avowed, which we finished for now. Monster Hunter Wilds Level Devils demo, which is out now, by the way. Motorcycle Night Rides demo. Nerd Simulators demo. Void Wars demo. Put the sausage in the bun. I should have put free update. So there's a free update where they added some three new levels, and the developers came in and said hello, which was awesome. And I cannot believe I didn't take the chance to say, hey, you guys need to find a way to hack into my game and give me credit for that last level, because I did it on stream, and it says I didn't do it, and I don't want to do it again. But whatever. And put the sausage in the bun, chat, if you don't know what that game is. A very, very funny, great game where it's a physics-based game where you tie balloons and little bumblebees to objects to make them float up or fly towards different directions. And you try to put the sausage in the bun. It's great. We already talked about it earlier. We had our special stream of our Hololive knowledge test and character sorter. And we played Roguelite Deck Builder. I don't know. I think this slide in here is actually for me, guys, because I like to look at this and think, nice. That's a nice varied list of stuff. I'm gonna feel really bad one day if I look at this slide and it's just one game. You know, I'm gonna be like, ah, fuck. You know, like that'll be my sign to be like, ah, we gotta slide a simulator in there or something. But maybe, you know, we never know. The chat might demand it one day. They might demand that we start our 99th Pokemon Nuzlocke run, even though I'm Nuzlocked out. I would hopefully be able to think of a way to convince you all of something else. I always think about those poor Overwatch streamers that had to play Overwatch for days and weeks and years. Non-stop Overwatch. How are they alive? They're so strong. Time streamed in January, 51 hours. February, 91 hours. Which was a lot of Avowed. Basically 90 hours. And then March, 78 hours. Basically 80. In fact, right now it's 79 and 20 and 22 minutes because this stream's been going on for an hour and 12 minutes. Nice. Doesn't really mean anything at all. It's just neat for me. Also from, you know, because like I said, I work in advertising. It's fun to see these numbers and see the relationship between them. Next. What's next in April? So, the list is admittedly much smaller than before, but that's because I had a bunch of Hololive stuff in here. I don't really feel like this is the stream to talk about all that stuff. I post about that stuff on Twitter. We talk about it here and there, so we have Chef RPG did come out with their big update. I don't remember if it had already come out when we did our last chat or if it was going to, but it did come out, and they've already made a slight adjustment to their roadmap to deprioritize the romance system, so that way they can get other places in the game set up properly to then introduce the romance system, which sounds like a great call. I'm going to trust their word on it, and we're going to let them cook. Literally. Chef RPG will be returning soon, TM. I don't know when. It's on the back burner and has been for a while. But I still want to, and even though it kind of embarrasses me to say that we still haven't played it again, I'm putting it on the list as a bit of a reminder, right? As a you guys don't let me forget. So we have our Pokemon Heart Gold Nuzlocke after this stream, and then we're starting a new Minecraft world tomorrow around 11 a.m. Eastern for a chill Minecraft day. I've been really jealous of Vivi and how much fun she's been having in Minecraft, so I'm going to try to channel some of that energy. I'm going to make a new world. I'm not going to do any villager breeding. I'm not going to do any sort of hardcore, like, mob farming or anything like that. At least for, I don't know. You know, maybe this world that I'm making will just be like a light adventure, and then we can return to our more hardcore world once I'm warmed up back into the Minecraft gaming world. Because otherwise I'm just going to go in and die and lose all my stuff again. I lost all my stuff in the dumbest way on stream. I got beaten up by an Enderman under a tree. Well. And there's probably going to be some more stuff in there. You know, like the Pokemon Heart Gold Nuzlocke, that could end today. If we fail it, I don't know if I'm gonna feel like ready to try again right away or what. I think it depends how far we make it. I might be too sad to ever do it again, also. I might decide that, wow, Nuzlockes are not for me. Let's just play Pokemon instead. We will see. We will see, but you know, it's my turn to bat. And I think that's it. So that's it for our third. Oh, I'm supposed to put a big 3 there. For our third Mashed Potato Monthly. So you were scrolling through my YouTube and saw some RimWorld. Is that a game I'm going to stream again at some point? It is. That's a great reminder because I was thinking everyone loves RimWorld. Why don't I just do the occasional one-off RimWorld stream? Partially because RimWorld's not the kind of game to just like dip in and out of, but we will definitely play some RimWorld, and we'll move it up on the imaginary list now that it's been brought up. Some of my RimWorld exploits, though, if you've never played RimWorld, it's a lot of fun. We had, I think my favorite thing was that in one colony, we had a tribal colony. One guy got an arm infection. I told him to go and amputate the arm off. He was a good doctor. Now, the game lets you just amputate either arm because you have an arm injury. I chose the wrong arm, and then we got rid of the good arm. and then I'm pretty sure we survived the infection because they still had another arm. But then later on, we got a 3-year-old that came to our colony. So now there's a 1-armed person and a 3-year-old. And then a flesh-warping dark agent of chaos appeared who also started living with us, which was great for a while because anybody that attacked us got their guts flipped inside out. Until one day, he decided to turn evil and turn into a monster, and then it left us alone. And our 3-year-old escaped, was wandering, actually she was 7 at this point, was wandering around in the woods and was being attacked by lynx. We ran outside with our makeshift assault rifle with flamethrower attachment and shot 2 rounds of flamethrower bursts at the lynx. The first one missed, the second one nailed it right as it was about to attack us, and we managed to run inside and escape. And it was awesome. That run ended, though, as a death. as a I give up because oh my god, this is way too hard to try to scrounge up a win. And then we did a run as some tribals where I manipulated the game to give us the flesh mountain. That was awesome. Why don't we play more RimWorld? Well, you know what? We'll see. Maybe not this weekend, but maybe next weekend. Or maybe during the week. Actually, I shouldn't say during the week anymore because work is getting busy. That's what makes RimWorld so great. You definitely watch. Sounds like you're also play some RimWorld, which is cool. Yeah. For sure, we can consider adding some RimWorld back, because, you know, I never make it to the end game in RimWorld. I always putter out before I get there. I build a nice tribal village, stabilize everything. I think to myself, this is kind of boring. I'd rather just make a new tribal village and then I start over. It's been a long time since I've had the guy with full bionics and, you know, all that kind of stuff, turrets and everything. I like me some spears and bows, some slow burn, gritty action, tribal action. You have about 100 hours into it, but you haven't played for about 5 years? Do you feel too rusty to hop back in? Oh yeah, 5 years means you probably didn't play any of the DLCs. Those are pretty overwhelming to add on to what is already an overwhelming game. RimWorld is my second most played game of all time, I think. Second to Lost Ark, which is at 4,000 hours. RimWorld is at 1,376.8 hours, and I started playing it when it was in, well, it was in alpha early access for a while. I think I started playing it right when they added animals. Which just sounds so funny. Like, what do you mean there wasn't animals before that? It's like, I don't know. I guess there just wasn't. I don't know. But it's been a long time since I've played RimWorld too, so don't worry. Stuff like cutting off my own arm on accident will surely happen again. Alright, Twitch chat. There are some links there. They are also right below the window you're currently watching this video in. YouTube's got all of our cool stuff, our VODs and everything. Take it from Das Wondercat. There's probably something in there that you are interested in, and maybe we'll revisit, unless it's Elden Ring. Don't ask me to play Elden Ring. I'm still very anti-playing Elden Ring. I guess I got burned that bad from the last time I played Elden Ring that I still don't want to play it. Anything but Elden Ring, guys. We have my Twitter there. Please follow if you would be so kind and save me from the bots. The bots that have now turned Japanese. My DMs are flooded with DMs I can't read, guys. I'm not joking. Like hundreds, and within those hundreds of messages, there's hundreds of people that have been added to them. It's crazy. Help me. What's I don't know what side of Twitter I've ventured into, but I've gone to a wrong part. Okay, I don't know. I don't even know what they're saying. It could be super bad, or it could just be generic, like come check out my profile. Who knows? Also, I put the Twitch link there. That's more for the YouTube people. You guys don't have to worry about that. You're already here. I'm so good. I just ignore it. But then I'm just thinking, I was like, maybe I should do something about it. Like, is it just gonna keep spreading? Is it getting worse? Should I like block it or something? I can't block all that. It's like hundreds of people. So, and I don't even know what they're saying. That's the worst part. Maybe it's better I don't know. But what if it's like something truly nefarious? I don't know. Well, we'll have to remember this moment for the lawyers whenever they're pulling me up and investigating my DMs. They say, look right here. And I'll say, I didn't know that's what that said. And they'll say, well, can you prove that? And I'll be like, well, yeah, actually on stream. And then right now I'm gonna have to fight a smirk on my face because I'm referencing something that's happening in real life, but I'm referencing it from the past. And they're all wondering, how the fuck is he doing this? But they're not gonna say that because they're being professional. Anyways, simulation is over. Pokemon Heart Gold Nuzlocke soon. I'm gonna just take a quick little stretch break, maybe eat a snack, and then we should be good to go. Can I set it so people don't follow me? Can't add me to stuff? I don't know. Actually, wait, I thought I turned DMs off. Wait, how are they doing that then? Because I was like, wait, what if I just turn DMs off for a while and then turn them back on? Because I always just wonder, like, well, what if someone wants to DM me? What if some lone lurker out there wants to DM me about something? I don't know. It's never gonna happen. But it will definitely not happen if I have them closed. I guess they can always just at me. Pokemon Heart Gold Nuzlocke soon. I got a custom overlay for us. It's really not that fancy. It's fancy from a technical side, but it's gonna get the job done. Hope to see you all there, and thank you all very much for joining me in our third Mashed Potato Monthly stream. I'll be back in just a little bit. Not too bad. Hour and a half. Pretty good. All right. Thank you all again. Have a good rest of your weekend. Pokemon in a little bit. And maybe something else depending on if we die really fast or not.